Shibun bhai? Okay, done. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are having our third session, which is very important session because we are going to talk about the legal aspects of business and the global perspective of legal aspects of business. Today we have with us very good panel. So the speaker who have with us, she's the founder of Legal Challenge Group of UAE. So let's welcome our speaker. Our speaker is Miss Areej Hamada. So thank you guys for being with us. We are now going to start our program. So Areej, welcome to our session.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your invitation. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Areej Hamada. I'm a lawyer from Kuwait. I have more than 20 years experience. I was working in the Ahli United Bank 13 years as a legal at the legal department. And after I work in government section 1 year. After that, I transferred to work and training in a law firm 4 years without any salary, just to approve myself. And now, since 2017, I start my law firm, my own law firm. It's named Legal Challenges Group. And after I'm trying to work, and I'm looking forward to work at the international trade. So in 2019, I established my own journal. It's specialized in law and economic. It's an international and electronic, and this journal, it's the first journal in the Middle East, which is I have with many lawyers and female lawyers from each the world to talk about law and economic. And now I establish my own legal company in China because they have a new law. It's for the foreign investors, so we can start and establish our companies 100% for me without any China to be partner with us. So they choose me now, IFLR, to be in their list of the best and top lawyers for 2020, and I'm so proud about this. And I feel happy. Also, now they choose me the IPPA. This is organization, international organization for the lawyers and female lawyer, which is specialized in the to work in the commercial work. Now they choose me to be as a vice chair of cross investment border community. So this is just to introduce myself for you and for the people.
Thank you so much, Hamada. So, Areej, when I got to know you, you were so amazing. So you are doing a lots of job for the awareness in UAE and Kuwait. So you have done many things for the women entrepreneurs. You have helped them in legal activities. So for information, so we would like to know about what are the biggest legal challenges that women are facing in your country and around the globe.
The legal challenges women face around the world and in my country, in my country, because not just my country, in the Middle East, the women, we don't have the same opportunities like the man. So it's so difficult for us to have our chance and our opportunity. Now, in this day, is the Women's Entrepreneurship Day, is day on which the work of women is observed to and discussed. Held on November 19, it was yesterday, each year to raise awareness about the problems women facing in introducing ecosystem system. Because only with creating awareness, we can have a world in which we don't need a special day for women anymore. So confidence is an essential part of prosperity and growth. When a woman leads, others follow. More women are starting business, but they still face challenges of operating their business. The number of women entrepreneurs is on the race. Regardless of the positive outcomes, women are struggling to survive in the business environment given the challenges they face.
Yes. Thank you so much. So you talked about some of the challenges. Definitely, maybe your country, maybe the other countries are providing some facilities from the government sector. They're getting facilities that your women entrepreneurs are getting from your country.
Okay, can you repeat again your question, please? Because it's gone.
Yes, I asked that what are the facilities that women entrepreneurs are getting in your country from the government side?
Yeah, there is many facilities, but my advice, it's the large mistake that they don't deal with legalists, يعني, from the beginning. It will be a very problem for them. While the concept of an oral agreement can be binding in certain instances. It's not generally applicable on a global scale. For this reason, it's highly recommended that optional legal issues are discussed from the beginning, as the beginning is something that is necessary to form the foundation of one's business. Failing from this at the start is something that is vital to move forward and ultimately have a great deal of success. We have many things like مثلا, such as the commercial relationship of founders. Many common legal issues arise when it's not clear how the partners are commercially. This can be easily solved when ascertaining how the partners intend to conduct business together and what avenues they need to establish to do so. Having this conversation will make it easy to figure out which kind of commercial relationship should be drafted into the partnership agreement. Other things, the employment contracts. As the startup grows, it will need employee. For this reason, it's highly recommended to have employment contract in place, but also to anticipate taxation issues that are associated with employees. Benefits, health insurance should also be considered in terms of what the startup will offer
Takers.
Sorry, realistically to be able to afford. Also, we have a trademark registration. Depending on where the company will be doing business, it's vital to register the trademark in the various jurisdictions, it's imperative to do so because the trademark is something that can potentially cause many lost over royalties and even losing one's branding with customers in a given market. And also, I will talk about the lack of contracts with suppliers. In terms of import and export companies, for example, having solid contracts with supplier regarding price and damaged goods is essential. This is a way to prevent a huge loss in investment due to situations that arise through the normal dealings of business. Taxation issues also, it's a very important and it's one of challenges depending on the markets that you have elected to conduct your startup business. You must pay attention to taxation issues. Taxation is something that will make or break your company's future. Failure to comply with taxation is a major mistake that costs many startup companies dearly. This is a quickly point about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Got to know about so many things about these issues. But in my queries, for example, a man goes for funding and a woman goes for funding. So is there any gender biasness between these issues that women will get less money than the male? Is there any legal issues or legal barriers over there?
Yeah. The facilities that women entrepreneurs are getting from the government or private sectors, not all business people are fortunate enough to have an investor or financer for their business. Some have to bootstrap their entrepreneurial ventures, really rely on credit cards or raise capital on their own. Women's business are among the leading ventures that lack financial support. It's also common for women to be denied loans because of gender and culture basis. Many institutions tend to fund male-owned business. What would women achieve if they had a perfect support system? Struggling or failing in business could be the result of a lack of an adequate support system. In my opinion, in business, no man's island. Women tend to face to greatest challenges in getting support, from lacking the relevant connections to needing financial access or emotional support. They also need mentors and sponsors to guide them in this new path. The support system is often expensive, forcing women to delay starting their businesses. This is what I think about this point also.
Okay, thank you so much. There are so many things to know about these issues that we have to follow this sector and that sector, and sometimes we get frustrated on these issues, but what we need to do is that we need to work on the products or services that we are providing. No matter that how legal issues are, if you are good, then you will get definitely the funding. One thing I want to know about is that what is the legal aspects in globally about the export and import industries in your country and in globally?
Okay. I think before I come to this point, I have just more I want to add to the before topics, if you excuse me, please. We should know about the gender equality, laws, culture, religion, and policies. Policies are built upon a partition of foundation. Women must work their way up in the masculine world while facing stigma and discrimination. Although laws and policies have attempted to create favorable business environment for everyone, the actual changes have not yet been implemented. Gender lens investing, which refers to strategies that address gender disparity, issues and or analyze gender issue to implement investment discussion is gaining traction. Regarding the legal aspects of export and import industries for women. Understand legal issues for exports and should making sure you comply and overseas legal requirements. You will need to anticipate potential problems. You should think about how to protect any intellectual property and make sure you draw up clear contact with customers and agents. For the united, international trade can be daunting and overwhelming. Armed with my preeminent ideas, I have no doubt that each of you will succeed in international trade and become famous. Many beginners incorrectly believe that their business is too small to compete on a global level. Not so. Maybe they fear the field is too dangerous and risky. A business venture for an operation without a formal international trade division or the capital to open foreign office and develop a foreign market. However, these perceived fears are actually far from the reality of the international market today. The international market is waiting to be plundered you. It's ripe with opportunities and opportunity profits for anyone willing to invest time and effort more than anything else. Even for small business, this huge global market has a relatively open field. It's a new world economy where trade barriers are slowly beginning to crumble, and technology and communication are leveling forces. These global demographic and economic changes make it an especially opportune time for domestic business or even a single entrepreneur to venture into international trade. Also, the small business has a distinct advantage over mega companies in breaking into this field. Small companies are better suited to do business in the new world marketplace since they are more flexible, less practical, more dynamic, and often more innovative. In fact, the solo player, even novice solo player in international trade, can fare just as successfully as the larger import-export business with the aid of some technology, contacts, research, and of course, a good lawyer. Clearly, this is an opportune time for any small business, and this is the good time for any small business or small player to venture into international trade and to reap the many advantages of the field, such as travel, networking, and enormous profit potential. I just want to apologize for everybody because from just less than half an hour, I was in the elevator and it stopped around 1 hour for me. So that's why I'm talking and inside شوية a little nervous. So I'm sorry, Yani, for any mistake.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You talked about so important things. So I was just having some learnings from you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
that's
so
great.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my next question is, do you have any database or something like this one? Which countries are providing the most business friendly environment for the women entrepreneurs?
Well, if you are talking about يعني in the country in the Middle East, I think in the Middle East the most country it's support women, Lebanon, and after Lebanon I think Egypt and Tunis. As the Arabian Gulf, the most country it's Bahrain. After Bahrain, Emirat and UAE. And then now Saudi Arabia, they start from last year to support women. So I think they will be in the future number one in the Middle East. This is what I think, يعني, in my opinion. Yeah.
Wow. So Middle East will provide the friendly environment for the women entrepreneurs. That's great to know that the people will be coming and coming and coming to your countries.
Yeah, welcome for everybody.
Welcome for everybody.
Now we have in Kuwait we have a new law for the investors, so they can start up their companies without any partner of Kuwaiti, so only 100% for them, and they can also the employee. It's not necessary to be Kuwaiti, and we have very thing for the women if they want, and I will be their lawyers.
So that's great to know that, and I will be one of them if I visit Kuwait.
Yeah, we welcome you.
So anything would you like to share for our women entrepreneurs to overcome the legal challenges, how they can actually sustain in the market?
Yeah, how they can getting start in the global market. It will be for women and men, yani for both of them. There are two basic issues to consider when getting started in import-export. Number one is business structures, and number two is the business contacts. Business structure generally refers to and is tremendously determined by your role in the importing and exporting of goods. In the simplest terms, and for our purpose, the four major players are defined below. Number one, importer, person or entity that brings in foreign goods or service into the country for its own use, but more often for resale. Exporter, person or entity that sells their own goods or service to foreign buyers. Number three, import-export merchant, person or entity who buys goods or service from one country for the purpose of resale in another country. And number 4, import and export management company, that is named IEMC, essentially a person or entity that serves as the middleman in deals between importers and exporters. Of the founder of the 4 structures rules listed above, which I said, the IEMC offers advantages, particularly for the small businesses or solo player, since this is little need to spend huge amount of capital to purchase goods first, and then to tie up the capital waiting to sell these goods. The IEMC functions exclusively as the middleman in deal negotiations and provides only when a deal is closed. In this respect, the IEMC must be knowledgeable about trade good at negotiators, and have an extensive contact list. Once the business structure is determined, the second basic constitutions is business contact, which I say before. Which is especially important for IEMC and others just starting out in this field. There are 4 major and preliminary contacts to be established by the IEMC. Customers broker. This contact is particularly important to establish since the broker's jobs is to have special professional knowledge about customers, regulations, and tariff schedules to file the necessary paperwork, and as such to ensure that imported goods pass through customs with minimal tariffs, delays, and problems. Granted, it's essential to retain a customs broker for an IMC, but by doing so, that burden upon you to have this special knowledge is lessened and shifted to an expert. Number 2, freight forwarder. This is an in-house person at manufacturers, independent shipper or contracted shipping line company whose job is to ensure that the delivery of goods arrives intact. The freight forwarder must have special knowledge of shipping options and price. Again, it's not essential to have such a contact, but highly beneficial since it once again saves you time and relieves you of this burden. Number 3, commercial bank. It's essential to establish banking relationship with a commercial bank that has familiarity with international trade. Deal structuring and deal financing. Make sure your bank has a letter of credit department, special consideration for businesses specializing in trade with one specific region is developing a banking relationship with a bank in that region, since they will already be familiar with that market and have open lines of communication in that region. And finally, manufacturers representatives for the importers. The faction essentially as independent salesman who promotes and sell your imported good to retails. Manufacturers representatives function more so as their name implies in exporting. Often these people representing domestic manufacturers seeking to expand into the international market will approach exporters. This is what this is what I have about these topics.
Thank you so much, Areej.
Thank you.
You have talked about 4 important things about the legal aspects for women entrepreneurs. That's really very, very crucial. Hopefully, our women entrepreneurs will get the guidance from these issues. And so we are very end of our session. Before to that, I want to ask you for the final remarks that you would like to say to our audience so that they can get some takeaways from this session.
I would like to say I have more things about the last topic. I would like to continue, please, if you excuse me.
Yes.
There is the general overview of international trade financing also. A letter of credit substitutable, the credit of a bank for the credit of an applicant. Specifically, it's a written instrument issued by banks stating that payments will be made on behalf of applicants to beneficiaries if the beneficiary fulfills all the conditions described in the letter of credit. The typical bank customer for a letter of credit is someone agent in international trade and who is a brochures of international goods, according of the uniform customs parties for documentary credit. So a letter of credit is an agreement, however named or described, whereby the issuing bank acting as the request and on the instructions of its customer, which I mean the applicant for the credit, is to make payment to the order of a third party. The beneficiary is to pay or accept bills of exchange drafts drawn by the beneficiary, or authorize another bank to effect such payment, or to accept and pay such bills of exchange, or the draft, or authorize another bank to negotiate against stipulated document, provide that the terms and conditions of the credit are complied with. And also we should know about the documents not mean performance. The bank deals in documents only, not performance or merchandise. Therefore, the bank cannot ensure that the underlying transaction has been fulfilled to the satisfaction of the applicant. In letter of credit transactions, banks are concerned with the representation, not with the ultimate truth. when all stipulated documents are presented, the issuing bank must pay the beneficiary. Therefore, the applicant, the bank customers, cannot rely on the letter of credit for protection from the beneficiary performance problems. I'm sorry again for my English. It's not very well, I know, but I'm trying my best because it's not my first language. But I'm trying my best.
No, it's okay. We understood many things.
Okay,
Hopefully,
good.
our audience also got to understand you. So don't
Okay.
worry, don't apologize. You were
Okay, thank you. So I will
yeah.
continue again. The bank's responsibility is only to examine documents with reasonable care and to ascertain that they appear to comply with the requirements of the letter of credit. Thus, once the letter of credit is issued, the applicant faces the risk that the letter of credit may be paid through import and even fraudulent actions of the beneficiary. The bank, however, cannot refuse to pay on the letter of credit based on such actions unless those type of actions are stipulated as conditions on the letter of credit instrument itself. This is often a score of confusion for the unseen positioned importer who may ask the bank not to pay on a letter of credit due to disputes with the exporter beneficiary or due to the fact that they change their mind about the transaction, as much as the bank may want to cooperate with the importer. It cannot do it. So its rule to confined to the review of documents. Although many large companies are quite familiar with the letter of credit process, the smaller business will be very dependent on the bank's letter of credit department of expertise in international trade. Again, however, the bank's sole rule is to determine whether presenting drafts are accompanied by the documents required by the letter of credit and whether all conditions set forth in the letter of credit have been satisfied. My last word is for the all women's. Don't when you will start when you will start your work, you should have a lawyer. As I say before, this is very important to be to work without any problems, because there is many people in the companies, and maybe it will be make for you a problems. This is my last and the only thing and my advice that the only thing starting from the failure is the ability to dust yourself off and keep going. This is what I would like to say for everybody.
Thank you so much, Areej. You have said the right thing. the women entrepreneurs shouldn't give up and they should continue with their work. Yes, they can do it. So if you
You can do
work,
it.
then
Yeah.
the world is open. Thank you so much, Areej, for giving your valuable and precious time to us. Hopefully, our audience got to know so many things from you. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you in our next session.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your
Bye.
invitation. Thank you for your amazing this amazing event. How you can not just amazing. It's a history event, really, because you choose many women from many countries. It's not easy to do that. So thank you very much. I hope the UN يعني contract with you to make more like this event more
In the
bigger
future.
of this in the
Yes,
future.
definitely.
Yeah. Thank
Definitely, I will
you.
invite you in some of our events in the future as well. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
your
Thank you
kind
so much.
words.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
And thank you for everybody. I'm sorry again for my English. Thank you.